I've always relied on my mentors to help me. Nobody actually knows the story behind the startup which we did. There was a very good friend of mine. She got a new boyfriend, and her boyfriend was, kind of jealous of me. So he said that don't talk to Gaurav. Back then, I didn't even have a laptop. It was really fascinating for me that we could do something on the computers. It's almost 5.5 years of struggle to, figuring out what we have to do and what is going to be a hit.
Hi, my name is Anjani B Kuumar and welcome to my channel. Today's episode of Transformator is going to be different. Today we are going to meet a celebrity, an influencer in the digital field, Gaurav Madaan. Now Gaurav is known as someone who is an expert in the field of digital marketing. He's a launch specialist, he's a coach, he's a trainer, and some of his courses on funnels, Facebook ads, on affiliate marketing, they have become extremely famous, and he has a huge following of students who have actually been a part of his courses and they have got benefited from that. In fact, when I was trying to learn digital marketing and understand some of the nuances, I stumbled upon Gaurav's courses. And the first few steps that I personally took into the field of digital marketing, I actually learned from his courses. And then after that, I've been interacting with him over a period of time. And he's someone who adds tremendous value to people who work with him and ensures that they achieve success in their life, in their careers. So today we are going to meet Gaurav and we will learn from his journey of success and what are some of the advices which he would like to give to budding entrepreneurs and how they can build their business. So let's meet Gaurav Madaan. Hi Gaurav. Thank you for being on my channel and thank you for taking out time from your busy schedule to really spend for the viewers. And they are really looking forward to, listening to you and learning from your journey. So really thank you for doing this.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me and giving me an opportunity to talk to your audience.
Lovely. So I was just telling them about, how you have achieved success in your career, in your life, and how you have become an influencer and a coach, a trainer. You have achieved so much. But obviously, whenever you achieve success, there is so much, journey behind that also. And it'll be great, if you can just tell us a little bit about your initial journey, how you started and how you have been able to achieve where you are today. So it'll be great to really learn from, your journey, because success obviously, leaves clues. And if, the viewers can pick up some of the clues from your journey, that'll be wonderful.
So my journey began back in 2010, when I was a college student. I was doing electronics honors from Hansraj College, and one of my friends from another department introduced me to an opportunity of MLM where we had to sell websites and then it was like a kind of, if I sell to two guys, the two guys further will sell to two guys and so on. So that was the opportunity. But then, in the part of doing this, we also had to enroll for that website thing. So we had to pay money, we had to get a domain name. So we got our first domain name, and from there I realized, okay, there is something like a website. And back then I didn't even have a laptop, honestly. So I was kind of working from a cafe, internet cyber cafe used to be there. And I happened to make my very first website back then because, back in time, I didn't know that I was interested in technology altogether. So when I got my face happened with website development as a whole, more so WordPress. It was really fascinating for me, like that we could do something on the computers. And then that is where I got started, and then discovered AdSense later down the path, and then made some money with it, then lost that money as well. Then realized that there is potential, can be scaled up if done properly. So started doing properly. One thing which I would like to highlight as a part of my journey, which has been, is that, I've always relied on my mentors to help me throughout. So at the very first stage, it was, you could say, Mr. Vinod Achanta was one of my mentors back in college days from my MBA, who helped me got for few projects in the beginning, and also gave me an opportunity to speak in a good event of 50 entrepreneurs where we actually got an initial bit of funding. So apart from that, then later down the path, when I wanted to launch softwares, again I was kind of cornerstone, because I was new in the industry and nobody was willing to promote a product. So we said that we need to get another person on board. So we got another giant by the name Jay Sharma. He was doing really good in the internet marketing space, software launches. So he helped us launch our first 2 softwares, and from there we picked up really nicely. So the entire thing which I would like to say is, like, if you can't do it yourself, or if you're new to this place, just ride on the shoulder of a giant. That would be very, very helpful for you.
No, that's wonderfully put, Gaurav. And interestingly, what we see people is when they become successful, but we really don't know what journey they have gone through, the difficulties that they have really faced. And it's important to really understand that, it also took you so much time, in terms of, first understanding the domain and, then reaching where you are today. So that's really wonderful. And since you spoke about, mentors, this whole channel, which I run, it's all about the power of coaching and mentoring, because I have been doing that for many years in my career. And in fact, I have coached more than 5,000 people in the corporate world, because that is my domain. That's what I understand. But I was just telling the viewers, in your introduction, which I was doing, is my first lessons in the field of digital marketing, actually, I got from your courses. Because I happened to, stumble upon your course on funnels and Facebook marketing. And that is how, my interest actually grew in this field. And then I started doing a little more on that area. And so I have, apart from being a corporate professional, I've been a serial entrepreneur also. I've started 4 companies. And today, the reality is that everybody wants to become an entrepreneur, right? You yourself have, become an entrepreneur, set up your own company, have achieved success. So do you really want to, just tell the viewers that, how this journey towards entrepreneurship they can take? What are the things they need to keep in mind? And what are the, risks? Anything, from your experience, it'll be very useful.
So, there are like multiple school of thoughts behind venturing into entrepreneurship. Some say that you should do your job, and while doing your job, you should do a side hustle to really, start your entrepreneurship journey. And though, I am of the opposite thought, I say that when you burn the bridge behind, then that is the best possible way to jump forward. Because if you burn the bridge behind, then you're going to take a leap. Otherwise, it's going to be difficult. You're not going to give it all, right? So there are different school of thoughts, and I would not say that one school of thought is right or wrong. So it's up to you on what stage of life you are. If you are somebody who is younger and then has lesser responsibilities, no loans, just getting into the zone of entrepreneurship and want to take a plunge, you can leave the job and start. There is no problem with that, because you're young, you don't have responsibilities, so it's not a big deal. But if you're a family person, have kids, and then you're thinking of taking the plunge and leaving the job and then entering this unknown entrepreneurship era, where there is a lot of risk of losing capital as well, and it's not just about success, there's a lot of failure as well, right? So I would say, for you, the other school of thought would come into picture, where you take a side hustle, and then, while working a job, you kind of work your way out to the top. So that is my suggestion. And in terms of risk, risk is there in walking on the road as well. Risk is there in driving. It's just equivalent amount of risk in entrepreneurship as well. There's nothing specific, nothing special, right? And if you really want to, if you have a belief that you'll be able to do it and your idea is rock solid, then you should definitely go for it.
And how did you actually do it? What was your, when you were getting into it, you built, HighonM and your other ventures. How did this whole thing come to your mind that this is the direction that you want to take?
Okay, so a lot of people did, nobody actually knows the story behind the startup which we did. Okay. So this is 2000, this is the first time even I'm telling somewhere. In 2010, what happened is I made my first domain, which was by the name gauravbuzz.info, right? Then after that, after taking experience of 1.5 years, we decided that we are going to open a blogging platform where there are going to be multiple bloggers going to blog about a lot of things, life and whatnot. And we are going to call it illwit.com. The name of that domain was Ilvit. It was a 6-letter domain and really good. And we kind of ran it for 1 year, but then it failed because again, me, Saurabh and Anjali, they were like 3 guys into it, and they all were split apart into different states, and it just kind of like didn't work out for us. So that was like the kind of first failure we had. Then second failure was like I was in my MBA, and then what happened is there was a very good friend of mine. So she got a new boyfriend, and then her boyfriend was kind of jealous of me. So he said that don't talk to Gaurav, and then she stopped talking to me. And then in that particular time frame, like where I had an ample amount of time, so I thought let's put this extra time which I've got from my friendships, and I'm doing an internship in Mumbai. So let's start a new venture. I started Geekotech alone at that time. Okay. So Geekotech was my second venture. Yeah. So that also kind of didn't took off. We used to do live blogging of Apple events, do a lot of technology blogs used to happen. We did our first kind of, song or a rap, you could say, at that time in 2015. We did a first song. That also, kind of didn't work through well. So in and out, I was like, not sure what to do. Then I went into the job. I started with the series by the name of Entrepreneurship, where I would kind of interview the giants of digital era at that time. So I started interviewing Shraddha Sharma, Ankita Gupta, and then Vishal from India Games. Then Alok Kejriwal from Games to Win. So I did like 4 interviews, and it was going really well. But then somehow the interest perished, and that also didn't take off. So this was like 4th attempt, or I think it's the 3rd or 4th attempt, which failed again. Then I said, okay, I'm going to just, keep doing what I'm doing and see what happens. So suddenly I met Saurabh again, and then, his venture was failing as well. He was in heavy losses. So I said, we both can put together something in the internet era. Like I was teaching at that time. I already knew a lot of stuff. I failed multiple times as well. And with some sparks of successes, because some of the hits were really good hits. Like one of my blog got instant hit through SEO because it was on what was WhatsApp business model exactly. And at the time of WhatsApp acquisition, everybody was going to Google and searching what's WhatsApp business model. At that time, I had almost 1 lakh hits on my website in a single day through search engine optimization. That was crazy. So I got my first hit. So I had a certain bit of experience, and we were doing certain bit of clients as well. So we said, okay, we'll launch a course where we'll teach people how to make a website, and then how people can actually consult other businesses and make websites with them, and in return charge money. That's how it all started. So that also got delayed by 1 year because Saurabh and me, at the time of formulation of this entire concept, and rather we recorded the videos as well, and the recorded videos were there, everything was there. But then what happened is I got offered an equity opportunity from Delhi School of Internet Marketing, which was like almost, you could say, 5% equity. Okay. And I think so it must have been like in 2019 or 19, DSIMs was sold for few crores. I don't know the exact numbers, but it must be like double digits, right? And then that opportunity I took, but there was a 3 years lock-in period. But then after 1 year of doing that opportunity of equity, I felt suffocated. I said, I don't want to do it anymore. Then we called up the guy with whom the videos were there. I said, let's get it edited. And Saurabh and me, then after like that in 2016, kind of mid of 2016 or April, I think so, I left the job and then kind of launched my first course. So you see, there is like 2010 to 2016 mid. It's almost 5.5 years of struggle through, ins and outs of whatever, figuring out what we have to do and what is going to be a hit, right? Nobody knows about this journey, honestly. And since then, it has been multiple ventures because we find a winning mantra. We did courses, we did SaaS products, we did done for you graphics, and we did a lot of other stuff which are really popular in digital domain internationally. And today we kind of made through.
Oh, that's amazing, and thanks for telling the story, because obviously it shows the real grit that is required in the initial period and going through those failures and still being at it, because it's not easy, and I'm sure you would have really experienced that. So just to add to that, because I did my first startup when I was 39. So, and I was extremely successful in the corporate world. And as you rightly said, the model where, you have to leave something to do something else. And I believed in that. And I jumped into it. And thereafter I did 4, 3 failed, 1 succeeded. So still it's a good ratio, because it's not bad, because in the startup world, and then I consult with a lot of entrepreneurs also, 5% is a good success rate. So that's the challenge. So thank you for telling this story. So let's just moving ahead. I think last 2 years, we all know that have been very difficult for businesses and for all of us. So while the digital world has seen a boom also, because everything moved on to digital. So from your perspective, because obviously you have been running your companies, your businesses. So how did COVID impact your businesses, and how did you manage the situation?
So for us, I think so. The impact was positive in the sense of sales.
Yeah.
It wasn't a negative impact, because I still remember at the time of when the COVID started, we used to have a house full of webinar. Like I was on a 3,000 webinar plan, a 3,000 attendees webinar plan of Zoom, and we used to have a full house. Like we used to do almost like a crazy amount of leads. I think so 5,000 leads a week. And then there were like 3,000 people were joining in the webinar, and it was like all packed up. 60% se upar show up rehta tha. Like that was crazy days, right? So, but like, COVID overall kind of made me a little passive. I was like way too aggressive before that, because then when you realize that everybody's dying, or not getting the basic required things, like even oxygen for that matter. So you see, running after money was not everything. So that is what where it hit me. Like whatever amount of effort I may do, it is not going to get me the oxygen, right? So it's better to take a chill pill and kind of relax. But yeah, in terms of business, it wasn't a hit for us. It, like in terms of a negative hit, it was a positive hit. But yeah, on the contrary, in the international side, like after the second or third wave, you could say, in third wave, the business did got hit, because the people who were buying our products were like all the people from physical world, right? And they got hit, like our customers got hit. So there wasn't any challenge in the first and second wave, but the third wave definitely like was a challenge, and we're still recovering from that phase. The market overall has shifted. There was something like, a shift was there in crypto space as well. From the so-called MMO space, they moved into crypto space. So that was also another reason. But yeah, more or less, I would say it was a pleasant experience, because, ups and downs keep you really on the toes.
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing which has happened is that, because since everything has moved on to the digital space, it has become very crowded today, right? Even the whole social media and all, and even, for that matter, YouTube also. So everybody is there. So in this crowded scenario, because, how one can build, his or her own brand, because, you have a course on, building your brand also, right? And then I've seen that. So how, so what is something new that, one needs to know, because it's extremely crowded. How do you stand out?
So standing out is more driven towards, finding up one USP which is missing from the market, and then hitting that hard, like really hard. So for example, back in 2000, so for me, what has been the kind of journey I take is, I do 2 years of coaching, then I take 1.5 years of break. I'll do SaaS, and then I'll take again do coaching for 1.5 years, and then I'll take a break again and do something else, like or continue to growing my SaaS companies. So this has been my journey. So when I came back this time, 2018, I think so it was 2018 or 2019 end it may be. So what was missing is, everybody in India was talking about, these social media things, and then, in marketing specifically, I'm talking about a particular niche here, is like digital marketing. Inside that niche, people were talking about SEO, social media marketing and whatnot, but these methods were old, kind of redundant, but nobody was really talking about, copywriting funnels and you could say ads. So I said that this is something which is missing in the market, and I should bring it on. And then I got the USP of like saying that, these are the 3 different things which you need to combine together in order to become really someone in the field of digital, right? And when I kind of pushed this message out, in the format like what is a digital marketer version 1 and what is a digital marketer version 2. So kind of it like it resonated with people, and people said, yeah, this is something which is missing. People are not really selling things, learning to sell, or rather people are just plainly writing content for SEO. So that is where it became a USP and became an instant hit because it was missing from the market. So similarly, in your niche, you need to find what's this missing element, or you could say, where is the foreign country at this point in time, and where is this Indian territory at this time? What's the difference? What is the missing gap? You pick it up and you make it your USP. It can work. That is one way to do it. Second way is, automatically, if your content is good, if you yourself, your experience, the way you explain things, and certain other things really in the parameter, if they're good. For example, if I take an example of Ankur Warikoo. Now, Ankur Warikoo does not really talk about anything new, or even Sadhguru for that matter, in terms of gurus, won't talk anything about, like anything new. It's all old. It's just said in a new, simpler method, right? So if you can get your voice and your tone right, in terms of where your audience is comfortable in listening to you, then you're going to again go altogether up. And then apart from that, trying out different forms of content, different forms of things is always going to be crucial for your brand. Like, doing something out of the blue, if you can do that, it is going to be really, really helpful for you. Because I've seen sometimes cringe content that brand creates go viral too, and that leads in them becoming a brand. Yeah. So so it's like a combination of multiple methods, I would say. Apart from that, if you combine it with paid PR, you can literally boost it with that.
No, I understand, and this should be very useful for the viewers also, because everybody is fighting for making his or her presence felt on the digital medium. So that's great. So moving on, I think what is keeping you busy these days? What's the next thing that we can see from you?
So I've been working on something called as Launcherator. This is our next step in the, as I said, what is missing in Indian ecosystem versus what's happening internationally. So Launcherator is all about launching a digital startup, from ideating to kind of optimizing to selling and getting sales and then scaling. So this is like 4 steps of a startup. It has all 4 steps, and we kind of are introducing 12 different models inside this particular program, where people can choose from 12 different business models, pick one and then kind of execute on it and make it big. Or if they feel like now they have saturated that limit for that particular model, they can shift to the next model. So in India, everybody right now is focusing on courses and coaching. For them, digital products per se means only coaching, but it's not true. Digital products means much more width and length actually. So there is PLR, MRR, which is private label rights, master reselling rights kind of products. Then we have swipe files, we have done for you graphics, then we have, SaaS products, we have Chrome extensions, we have WordPress plugins, we have tons and tons of things, even marketplaces for that matter, which can be done in the digital industry, right? So our next big aim is rather that we want Indians to actually master these business models, make in India and take it to the world and, really make it big.
Lovely. And by when we can see this?
We're planning to roll it out, as early as next week, you could say.
Okay.
We're almost at the final, pumping out the things, which is optimizing our pages, and rest, the curriculum is ready. The method of application is ready. This is more going to be a closed group program rather than an open program for everybody, because it involves startups. So we want to make sure that we only get a quality crowd to begin with. So it is going to be an application-based program. So you apply, we kind of check your application, we take a personal interview. If we feel that we both are a good fit for each other, then we can proceed with the enrollment and the onboarding. So that's how it is going to be.
So that's wonderful. Very different from, the things that we have seen from you in the past, right? It's very comprehensive end-to-end stuff, right?
Right. That is right. It needs hand-holding. That is why we're trying to pick selected few students and not everybody.
Excellent. So I wish you all the best for that. So that's lovely. And finally, just to conclude, if viewers, want to learn from you, reach out to you, and how can they do that?
So my email is gm@gauravmadaan.com. Probably, it will be great if you could mention that in the.
I'll mention that in the description. Yeah.
And apart from that, you can reach out to me on Instagram. That is the place I would check mostly. I don't know till when, but yeah, till I'm checking. So, but yeah, email, I'm mostly active on the email. So that's the best way to reach out to me.
Yeah, and for viewers, what I'll also do is I'll give all your social media handles in the description, and maybe the link to some of your courses also, so that if somebody wants to learn Facebook ads or even funnels and or affiliate marketing, I think they can just straight away click those links and they can access that.
Absolutely.
So that's wonderful. So great, Gaurav. Thank you for really spending time and sharing your story, the learnings, and I'm sure the viewers would have got really benefited by hearing from you, and especially your story which you spoke for the first time here. So really thankful for you for that, and look forward to interacting with you going forward as well.
Thank you for having me here. And just a quick note for all the audience: if you're watching till now, please make sure you do hit the subscribe button below, and give some love to Anjani as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I'm sure you would have found this conversation with Gaurav very useful, and there's so much to learn from his journey, from the way he has built businesses, the way he has faced challenges, he has overcome them, and how he has established himself as a brand in the digital arena, in the social world. So please follow some of these tips that he has given in your journey and try to achieve success through them. So if you have liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with family and friends and with everybody because they can get benefited by watching this interview. And if you have anything to share, put them in the comment section and I will answer your questions personally. And then I will now see you in the next video. Till then, thank you very much for watching.